guys, and welcome to another episode of Let's Mod Warframe. Today we're going to take a look at the melee weapons introduced in this week's update 14.5, the Kronen. Now the Kronen are a result of the melee design competition that DE ran a little while ago, and as such are the second weapon from that competition to be introduced into the game, after the Sylvia and Aegis was introduced in update 14. Now the Kronen are a dual Tomfa style weapon with a huge amount of slash damage, and one of the highest base damages of any melee weapon, rivaling but falling short of the Dragon Nikana. One thing that does stand this weapon apart, however, is the really decent base status chance of 20%. Means that if you're able to use all the dual stat, status and elemental mods, you can really put the weapon status chance up to almost 70%, which is a huge boost in the damage output of any weapon. However, you've only got access to the dual stat poison and cold mods, however, from the current event and also from Vor in the Void, the status chance is still a respectable 44%. Now another feature of this weapon, it's got the highest slide attack damage of any melee weapon in the game, meaning that if you're able to use sliding attacks more often, you can get some really insane damage out of these weapons. Now the Kronen requires the Gemini Cross Stance mod, which so far I've had dropped from the event mission on Earth, the Excavation Day game mode, as one of the rewards, and also as a drop from Fusion Mowers in the Void. Now the Kronen can be acquired from the market as a blueprint for 65,000 credits, requires 20,000 credits to build, meaning it's by no means a cheap weapon. Also the fact it requires 1,000 plastids and 2 argon crystals means it's not a cheap build either. However, this weapon can be picked up at Mastery Rank 3, and for that, you know, the weapon it is currently is a great starter weapon until you can get the Dragon Nikana if you wish to go that way. Although these weapons hold their own way up until tier 4 Void, or even sometime into like tier 4 Survival. So the upgrade to the Dragon Nikana is really a personal choice rather than a necessity. Okay, so let's make a start in modding these weapons. First we'll start with Gemini Cross with the Stance mod. We'll go Pressure Point, Fury, Spoiled Strike and Jagged Edge. And then we'll go with Molten Impact and Shocking Touch for Radiation, and Virulent Scourge and Cold Touch for viral damage. Okay, against the Corpus, again we'll go Gemini Cross, Pressure Point, Fury, Spoiled Strike, Jagged Edge. Shocking Touch and Cold Touch for the magnetic damage, Fever Strike and Virulent Scourge for that poison damage against your fleshier Corpus units. Now for the Infested, we'll go Pressure Point, Fury, Spoiled Strike, Jagged Edge, Virulent Scourge and Shocking Touch for that corrosive damage, and then Molten Impact and Cold Touch for blast damage against the smaller Infested. Okay, now it's time for my recommendation as to whether I would invest in these weapons or not. And honestly the answer to that is a huge resounding yes from me. Now the damage that these weapons put out is simply staggering. Slash damage is easily the best damage type in the game for anything fleshy, so your fleshy, Corpus and Infested. However, because it puts out such an insane amount of damage anyway, it can deal with pretty much anything that gets thrown at it. Especially when you take into account the high status chance and the ability to get 2 elemental combos on to deal with faction specific damage, which only gets better if you're able to combine this with all 4 of the dual stat elemental and status chance mods. I have to say though, if mobility and damage is more your thing, then this weapon's not really for you. If you like weapons where you can copter around using your melee to boost your movement, these are definitely not going to help at all, although it's slightly better in that regard to the Dragon Nikana, which doesn't really have much in terms of mobility whatsoever. Now there are other disadvantages also, with the range not being huge, and the range especially on the slide attacks can be fairly small, but personally I feel these are very small drawbacks to an otherwise super impressive weapon. I have to admit though, Mastery Rank 3 for a melee that can go a long way into the game is quite surprising. However, I would urge you to try these weapons out as soon as you can, and they are going to do you well throughout the game. Just want to say a big thanks goes out to Data Reaper for the community for designing these awesome looking weapons, and congratulations on having them implemented into the game. Now thanks very much for watching guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more Warframe content. I will have videos up for the Galaxian and the Nuka when the clan research finishes in a couple of days, so expect build videos for them on Monday. Thanks very much guys, have a great day, bye bye.